Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Tuesday, April 18, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Texas Rangers vs Kansas City Royals. The Rangers have won 5 of their last 7 games and 3 of their last 4 road games. They are playing well offensively, scoring 17 runs in their last 3 road games. Even though they struggled the last time they faced Keller, expect them to play well offensively in this game because they have hit the ball well against right-handers and they've had a lot of success against Keller, who is 1-2 in 4 starts against them. He gave up 16 runs in 4 starts against the Rangers, and with the Royals having one of the worst bullpens in the league, they will have a hard time slowing down the Rangers in this game. The Royals have lost 6 of their last 7 games and 9 of their 10 home games. They have struggled offensively, scoring only 10 runs in their last 3 home games. They will have a hard time scoring in this game because they have struggled against right-hander this season, and Eovaldi pitched well in his lone road start, giving up 2 runs in the game. He gave up 10 runs in his last 3 starts against the Royals, and he is backed up by one of the best bullpens in the league, so expect them to keep Kansas City's offense in check. Go with Texas to cover the money line. Taking the over in this matchup for a couple of reasons. I might regret saying this, but this feels like a pretty easy over for this game. Both teams are starting average pitchers in Nathan Eovaldi and Brad Keller, and these teams faced off less than a week ago, in which both of these pitchers got a start in the series. It is typically very difficult for a starter to face the same team twice in a week, and we should see the batters be aggressive and score early on in the game. The Rangers have gone over in 7 of their past 8 games and have gone over in their past 5 of their past 6 games against a right-handed starter. The Royals have also gone over in their past 5 starts with Keller on the bump against a team with a winning record, and in their past 6 games with Keller starting and the total set at 8.5 or lower. For these reasons I am confident in taking the over for this matchup. Our total pick is over 8.5 runs. Philadelphia Phillies vs Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are not living up to expectations early, losing their 4 series while only splitting their first of the season. They have been hitting pretty well, though not at a Phillies clip. Their .261 is 8th best in all of baseball, with 149 hits, 17 of them for home runs. Luis Robert has jumped out to the early lead on the team with 18 hits in 15 games. 9 of them have been for extra bases, including 4 doubles and 5 home runs, which are tied for 4th most in the game. As a team, Chicago has just 17 home runs, tied for 14th overall. They have one of 3 teams left that have not had a base stealer caught in the act. The White Sox are a clean 13 for 13 on stolen base attempts. It's the 6th series of the season for both teams and already the 3rd interleague matchup for each. The Phillies have gone 1-5 against the American League thus far, with all games on the road. The White Sox have gone 2-4 versus National League opponents, losing both series, 1-2. Chicago hasn't performed well at home so far, though in fairness they haven't performed well on the road either. That said, this is Giolito's first start of the season in front of a home crowd, and that could help him carry the momentum of a strong start in his last outing. The same can't be said for Phil's starter Falter, who struggled in his last outing. This game will come down to which offense gets to the other team's bullpen first. I like the White Sox to win that race here. Take Chicago on the money line. We have 2 of the better hitting teams going toe-to-toe in the second game of the day. However, the lineups will be shaken up a bit after Game 1, and temperatures are forecast to be in the low 50s, so it will be a crisp Chicago evening. The Phillies were shut out on Saturday and scored 2 runs twice last week, so they can be held down. Giolito allowed just a run in his last outing, and if Chicago can get 6 innings out of him again, and more importantly keep their bullpen locked up, runs should be minimal for Philadelphia. The under is 6-0 in Falter's last 6 road games and 7-0 in his last 7 road starters, where the total was set at 7.0 to 8.5 per covers.com. Take the under 8 runs. Arizona Diamondbacks vs St. Louis Cardinals. While Jameson has been phenomenal in his limited big league action, I'm giving this game to Montgomery and the Cardinals at home. St. Louis unlocked Jordan Montgomery, who was already a good pitcher with the Yankees, and turned him into a sub-3.00 ERA hurler. If we're talking offenses, St. Louis's has better numbers everywhere except for scoring. That's ultimately what counts, but it seems as if the Cardinals are due for a breakthrough with their slash line. On the flip side, the Diamondbacks are overperforming offensively right now. The Cardinals should bounce back at home in a big way, led by Paul Goldschmidt back in the lineup and Jordan Montgomery on the mound. Our team pick is Cardinals minus 1.5 runs. Both teams have been stealing bases as well as not getting caught stealing too much, as Arizona has stolen 18 bases on 19 attempts, 94.7 stolen base percentage, while St. Louis has 10 stolen bases on 12 tries, 83.3 stolen base percentage right now. These pitching staffs have been giving up too many walks, as the Cardinals are 20th with 3.65 walks per 9 innings, while the Diamondbacks are 26th in the majors with 4.27 walks per 9 innings. The over has hit in 6 of their previous 8 games against one another, so go with over 8 runs in this game. Our total pick is over 8 runs. Toronto Blue Jays vs Houston Astros. The Astros have won 4 of their last 7 games. They are playing well offensively, scoring 18 runs in their last 4 games. They won't have trouble scoring in this game because they have hit the ball well against right-handers, and Bassett has struggled on the mound so far, giving up 14 runs in 3 starts. He gave up 14 runs in his last 3 starts in Houston and will have a hard time slowing them down in this game. The Blue Jays have won 5 of their last 7 games. Even though they are playing well offensively, they will struggle in this game because Urquidy has done a good job on the mound for Houston, giving up 4 runs in 3 starts. He gave up 4 runs in his last 2 home starts against the Blue Jays and will keep their offense in check, so go with Houston to cover the money line. This game, in my opinion, has all the makings of an over. These rosters are littered with all-star level talent, and I think the stars will be on display here. Furthermore, neither bullpen has been overwhelmingly reliable to start the season. Toronto comes in with respectable numbers at 9th in ERA, 3.26, and 10th in WHIP, 1.20, while Houston is just 17th, 3.84, and 18th, 1.31, in those respective categories. All things considered, I think we're in for a slugfest Tuesday night. Our total pick is over 9 runs. Pittsburgh Pirates vs Colorado Rockies. Colorado is starting right-hander Jose Urena, who's 0-2 with a 9.00 ERA this season. In his first start, the righty struggled mightily in his first 2 starts, as he went 2.1 innings allowing 4 runs against the Padres, and then went 2.2 innings allowing 6 runs, 4 earned against the Nationals. He then followed that up by going 5 innings allowing 3 runs against St. Louis. As a pitching staff, the Rockies have a team ERA of 4.99 which ranks 23rd. Against Urena, Marcano is 1-1, Reynolds is 2-4, Mathias and Suwinski is 1-2, Santana bats .294 in 17 abs, McCutchen bats .278 in 18 abs, Hayes is 1-4, and Hedges is 0-5. Game 2 of Colorado vs Pittsburgh sees 2 starting pitchers struggling in Coors Field, which makes this game hard to predict. Although Urena has been awful, his 3rd start was a lot better as he was able to get timely strikeouts and really limit damage, which is something he couldn't do in his first 2 outings. Velasquez, meanwhile, has had 1 great start, 1 terrible, and 1 average, so it's hard to know how he will pitch. The Rockies have a decent lineup but are much better at home, and the lineup has had a ton of success against Velasquez. This should be a high-scoring affair, but I'll take the Rockies' bullpen and lineup to be the difference here at home. Take Colorado. Although I'm expecting a lot of runs, 12.5 is way too high, and I'll take the under here. Coors Field is known to be a hitter's ballpark and has a ton of runs, but I would rather this over at 10.5. Although Urena and Velasquez have struggled, giving up 12.5 runs is quite a bit. This season, the Pirates are 8-7-1 in hitting the under while Colorado is 8-8, and at home, the Rockies are 4-3 in hitting the over. Pittsburgh's last 10 games are averaging 9.3 runs per game, and in their last 10, only 2 of those games have gone over 12.5 runs. Colorado, meanwhile, is averaging 9.9 runs per game in their last 10, while in the 7 games at home, the Rockies' games are averaging 11.2 runs per game. Take the under 12.5 runs. Chicago Cubs vs Oakland Athletics. Well, the Oakland offense has been getting better and they got much better pitching in the final 2 games against the Mets over the weekend. They have a real challenge in Stroman. The right-hander is 1-1 with a 4.21 ERA in 6 appearances against Oakland, but all of that damage was done against him during his time with Toronto, and he looked great against Oakland in his final 2 outings, both in 2019, when he allowed 1 run in 15.0 combined innings. Waldichuk looked better in his last outing, but how could he not? He had been crushed through his first 2 outings of the year, and he is facing a Cubs team that is not lighting up the offense. However, he has his work cut out for him facing Stroman, so Chicago will win this game easily. The Oakland Athletics lost all 3 games to the New York Mets over the weekend, dropping 4 straight and 9 of their last 10 overall. That has Oakland in last place in the AL West entering Monday's action as they are 2-7 at home. Oakland was blitzed on Friday night, losing by 11 runs, but got much better pitching over the final 2 games against New York, allowing 7 total runs. That is a welcome sight, as this Oakland pitching staff has been terrible, last in baseball with a 7.60 ERA and a 1.67 WHIP. They have been abysmal over the last 5 games, as the starters have a 7.77 ERA and the relievers a 6.10 mark. Left-hander Ken Waldichuk gets the start, and he has been struggling this year, going 0-2 with a 10.20 ERA in 3 starts. The lefty allowed 3 runs in 6.1 innings in his last outing. He had allowed 14 runs through his first 8.2 frames. Our total pick is over. Milwaukee Brewers vs Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners are red hot right now, winning 4 straight games and entering play Monday. Looking to recapture the magic that sent the Mariners to the playoffs for the first time in 20 years last season, they've gotten a recent boost to improve back to .500 on the year. Over their last 7 games, the Mariners are averaging 5.3 runs per game, above their season average of 4.6. The Mariners' offense so far is being carried by Jarred Kelenic, who leads the team in batting average, .362, ops, 1.146, and home runs, 4. After a rough first couple of seasons for Kelenic, he's playing like the star the Mariners thought they had in him. Still, against a solid Brewers team with a bit of an unknown on the mound, the Mariners will be looking to their starter to go deep in this one. I'm taking the Mariners -160 at home against Milwaukee here. As good as the Brewers have been on the season, the Mariners are hot right now and have been outplaying the Brewers over the last week. With their runs per game ticking upward during this stretch, and with Jarred Kelenic being a 4 so far, the Mariners' offense will look to continue to roll against a big question mark in Colin Ray, who has failed to make himself stick in the majors over the last decade. With Logan Gilbert on the mound and mowing down hitters this season, the Mariners should take this one over the Brewers, especially with how well Gilbert opened the season at home this year. Take the Mariners with the money line. I've got the over 8 runs here between the Brewers and the Mariners. Both teams rank in the top half of runs scored so far this season, with the Brewers averaging 4.8 runs per game and the Mariners averaging 4.6 per game, heading into play on Monday. The Mariners have been particularly hot offensively as well, upping their average runs per game over their last 7 games to 5.3 per game. While Logan Gilbert is unlikely to give up many runs himself, the same cannot necessarily be said for longtime minor leaguer Colin Ray, who brings a lot of question marks to the table. The Mariners' bat should remain hot in this one, and as long the Brewers are able to score a few runs off Gilbert the bullpen, the over should hit here. Take the over 8 runs. Atlanta Braves vs San Diego Padres. The Padres lost 3 out of 4 games over the weekend at home against the Milwaukee Brewers to drop back under .500 this season. Aside from Saturday's 10-3 win, San Diego's offense has gone quiet over their last 5 games. The Padres suffered their second shutout of the season on Sunday, losing 1-0. Despite high expectations entering this season, San Diego is in 3rd place in the NL West, 1.5 games behind the first-place Arizona Diamondbacks. The Padres are just 4-6 at home this season. I feel confident taking the Braves in this spot. With an 8-1 road record entering Monday, playing on the West Coast shouldn't have too much of a negative impact on Atlanta. Spencer Strider was dominant in his first road start this season, throwing 6 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball with 9 strikeouts at Washington. Strider is 6-4 on the road in his career and 8-3 in night games. Blake Snell has only faced Atlanta twice in his career, but he is 0-1 with a 4.50 ERA. Snell is just 7-9 in his career against NL East teams. The advantage on the mound definitely goes to the Braves in Tuesday's game. Offensively, it's not even close right now. Atlanta has been red hot and is loaded with production up and down its lineup. The Braves are averaging almost 7 runs per game during their 6-game winning streak, while San Diego has failed to top 3 runs in 4 of its last 5 entering Monday. Advantage, Braves. It's been a slow start out of the gate for the Padres, and I can't see them correcting that against Atlanta's best pitcher. Give me the Braves minus 140 as a 5-star confidence rating. Potential for a lot of runs, even in pitcher-friendly Petco Park. You'd think there will be some regression coming soon, but it is alarming that Snell has issued 10 free passes this season in just 13 innings. He has failed thus far to follow up on a stellar second half of 2022, and the over has hit in 2 out of Snell's 3 starts this season. The Braves have been on a tear offensively over the past week, and the over has hit in 6 of Atlanta's last 7 games. 4 of their regulars are batting at least .313 right now, making it hard to pick against the over. On the mound for Atlanta, there is no guarantee that Strider will pitch a gem. In 3 career appearances against the Padres, Strider has a 4.66 ERA, which is his 4th highest against any of the 16 teams he has faced in his career. I certainly trust him more than Snell, though. Give me the over 7.5 runs. New York Mets vs Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers have lost 2 of their last 3 games, including a 3-2 defeat to the Chicago Cubs, 8-6 second in NL Central, at home on Sunday. Patrick Wisdom and Cody Bellinger had back-to-back home runs, and starter Drew Smyly limited Los Angeles to 1 run and 4 hits in 5.2 innings for the Cubs in the win. Outfielder Mookie Betts went 3-4 with an RBI in the leadoff spot for the Dodgers in the loss. In the past, Kershaw has owned the Mets, never losing a game in 16 career starts against them overall. He has limited New York to a .220 batting average and a .271 OBP at Dodger Stadium. Even without the Kershaw factor, the Mets are struggling at the plate as a team this season, ranking low in several key offensive categories such as batting average. They have been able to get by with their pitching against weaker teams like Oakland and Miami, but their batting woes were exposed in the Milwaukee series, where they were shut out twice and swept in 3 games. The Dodgers are much more effective against right-handed pitchers than left this season, .247 right, .183 left, so they may get Megill for some early runs. Most signs and trends point to a Dodgers victory with Kershaw on the mound Tuesday. Take Los Angeles minus 1.5 runs at home. Mets batters did not succeed in Dodger Stadium last season, batting just .213 with 11 extra bases hits in 4 games. They scored 1 run and were shut out in the series' first 2 games. New York has struggled with their bats, ranking 28th in the league in batting average, .217, and getting runners home this season, ranking 24th in runners left on base, 7.75 per game. Adding to New York's woes on Tuesday is that they are facing one of the premier pitchers in Kershaw. Kershaw has never lost against the Mets and sports a 2.17 ERA against them lifetime. The Dodgers pitcher has limited New York to a .202 batting average in 16 career starts. Los Angeles is ranked 25th in hitting and has gone under the point total in 3 of their last 4 games played at Dodger Stadium. Most signs point to a lower scoring affair on Tuesday. Take the under.